Ah, so that's what the K in King K rule stands for. Okay. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Thanks for joining me. My name is Kurosh. Welcome back to my show where we talk about games, game reviews, game impressions, and all things related in the indie space with a focus largely there, spending some time emphasizing the indie games and the developers who make them. My name is Kurosh, as I've said, and this is my channel. I've been doing a few interviews and game reviews in the past, and we're going to do another one today. We're doing a game review today on the game Hi-Fi Rush. This is a game by Tango Gameworks that came out in 2023. Talk about what is the game, what my experience was playing this game, what did I like to see improved or changed about it if there's anything, and my overall thoughts at the end. So let's get right into it. Hi-Fi Rush. I think the best way I can describe this game is Scott Pilgrim mixed with like a 3D platformer, essentially. It's a 3D platforming game that is on PC and on Xbox, I believe, at the time of this recording at least. There's rumors it's coming to Switch, so we'll see what happens there. But it's a 3D platforming game where you play this character, is a kid, cel-shaded worlds of futuristic stuff where they're doing a lot of biometric amputations and augmentations of sorts. And he has an interesting quandary where he loves music, and his iPhone, or whatever his music player is, kind of gets mixed in with his biometrics being added to him. And that leads to just amplify, it kind of turns the world from the view of you and the character into this musical kind of platforming game. And that's kind of the basics of it. It's rhythm-based. It's a rhythm-based platformer, so all of the actions and movements that you do as a player go to a rhythm. So every time you go for a swing or a hit, whether it be a light or heavy hit with your metallic magnetic guitar that you makeshift, it goes to the rhythm of whatever song is playing in the level. And that's kind of the basic gist of it. It's very old school in that it's got a rough, like, here's a 3D platforming structure with a few upgrades that go throughout it, and then bosses at the end of a few stages. Something very familiar, but also very refreshing in the same way, I think, because of what it does with that genre, what it does with the character, what it does with the overall mix of rhythm with that style of game. And so what did I experience? What did I play? This game, I would say, I just checked, it is roughly, I'd say about 9 or so hours. If you were to play through the basis of it, there's a lot of collectibles you can go back for after. That lets you keep going back if you want to play more and do harder, more interesting challenges. But largely my experience was kind of, again, hearing a lot of my games that I was picking up, and this was a late entry for me. I didn't get a chance to try this for my 2023 kind of picks of the year. But I wish I did, because it would have definitely made that list. A lot of what it offered in terms of the musical elements really gave me strong Scott Pilgrim vibes, where it's one of those few, and I'm thinking largely of Scott Pilgrim the film, where it does such a good mixture of combat and action and music and how it blends those together. Here, it was that same mixture, but with a video game where you're in the driver's seat. And I think at first I was a little intimidated by that, because I am not the most rhythm in tune when it comes to gaming. Like, I've tried my Elite Beat agents, I've tried my DDRs, I enjoy them, they're fun, but I'm not good at them. And I was worried that was going to be a barrier of entry. It is not. This game doesn't punish you for not being able to play to the rhythm, it just rewards you when you can. So you can continue playing through this game and have a great experience, but you will have an amplified experience if you are able to time your attacks on certain beats, on certain instances that match the rhythm of the movement of the songs that are taking place in the levels. So I like that structure. I feel like it just welcomes you in more into the world, and the characters it has. You're one character who, as you go through this journey, find a series of evil bosses that you have to get through to get to the final one. And you also find a series of characters that make an ensemble support group for you. And all of them have such interesting personalities and unique qualities that I really enjoyed, and just made me want to spend more time with. It almost felt like a show of sorts, because so much of it was witty and animated and fun, and kind of like a little Saturday morning cartoon of sorts, I would say. And so that was largely my experiences playing through this, is just experiencing that and kind of at first being intimidated, then going through. And I would say there's a lot to like here. If if you enjoy playing with some good music on whenever you're playing a game, and it hits when you're doing certain types of actions. This game has you go through basic level structures of such as you're getting traversing a level, but when you get to a boss fight, everything amplifies and it gets crazy and it gets fun and you do way cooler stuff and it sets you up for it and also lets you have your own moments in that. And so I very much enjoyed that about it. And I think it had a charm and a personality to it too, where it was witty and funny. You have a little kind of like a cyber cat pet that kind of follows along with you and had tons of personality. Your team has fun quirks and each of them has like a little trope to them. And when you go back to the base and you go and you figure out the little cogs and sarcasms everyone's going through. I enjoyed a lot of it. It was great. It was nice. Like I said, I think I clocked in around 9 hours. Had a great time with it. It was gone before I knew. Like I just was going, I was like, I want more, I want more, I want more. And then before I knew it, it was gone. But I enjoyed every minute of it. But that isn't without to say it had its issues. So let's take a moment to talk about what could it improve upon and what could it change. I think if I were to say areas that it can improve on, I enjoyed that it was mixing in music. I think I would have loved some more. I don't know if I all agreed 100% with the song choices. They had some songs that were like original songs that they had developed with their team, and then they had some songs that are known like in the pop culture space. They had like Prodigy played in there, it was great. They had some other songs in there as well that were really cool. I wanted more, I guess, of things, and this is selfish in some ways, things that I like vibe with, but also things that I think would resonate on a larger level. I think if more recognizable songs were able to be played, I think that would have maybe helped in a lot of what made it feel as impactful, because people, then you just kind of are like, oh yeah, this song is perfect here. And you kind of have something that you can like maybe sing along with, or like, you know the rhythm a little bit more yourself. I think being unfamiliar with some of those songs made it harder to be like, what's the next part where I should really like get an advantage on an attack. So that was one gripe I would say I had. That's the main one. I think hopefully with the success the game had, it was immediately sneak released on Game Pass and then made available everywhere. And I think through buzz, it kind of grew. I think if it continues to get a chance to do another game entry in this series, they would have maybe a little bit more accessible options to a wider variety of songs to pick from. But I wouldn't change much else in terms of how they structured. Some of the boss fights were very unique and fun and changed a little bit of what I was expecting in a 3D platformer. It wasn't just a straightforward, you run in and bash them until they lose. There were other elements to it that blended in what the story was, blended in the music in ways that I think helped make it stand out and be more unique. And so overall, I enjoyed a lot of those. And I think it stands well and above on those merits. I think overall my thoughts, highly recommend this game. I think if you're deterred by rhythm games, I think it's worth giving a shot. I think it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't punish you for not being in tune with the rhythm, but it just rewards you in that vein. And so if that's something up your alley, if you enjoy Scott Pilgrim, if you enjoy 3D platformers with some charm and some kind of Saturday morning kind of ish vibe to it, I think this is something worth giving a shot. And it's relatively easy of entry. It's not like a high budget or a high cost. It's not like a $80, $70 game. It's a little bit more reasonable in the pricing. I really recommend giving it a shot, see what you think. I think overall I would give this game an A. I wanted to put this on my list having now played it in January, as opposed to having looked back at my initial list for 2023 of favorite games and best games. I think this would have definitely had a spot on that list had I played it earlier. But it's a great game nonetheless, and I think it earned that grade. Thank you, Ivory Rush, and thank you to the Tango Gameworks team. And that's it for my review today. Thank you again for checking it in. Coming in and let me know what you think. If you've had a chance to play, if you're interested, if you have any other questions, I'd love to talk to you and get a sense of like what types of games you'd like to see me review in the indie space and what type of games I might be missing. There's a ton out there and there's always a lot of great teams working on them, so I love spending some time and sharing that with you as well. But until next time, I'll catch you guys later.